council leader threatened humanity, and his homeworld paid the price. Zorath, the most feared member of the Galactic Council, declared Earth a danger to the galaxy. Armadas were unleashed, fleets built to conquer worlds, but humans had been preparing in secret for centuries. Stealth ships, brilliant strategies, and intelligence no alien could predict. Every move calculated with deadly precision. The first strike left the Council in shock, their arrogance shattered. Their fleets in chaos, Zorath's homeworld faced the consequences of his hubris, and humanity rose from the shadows, unstoppable and clever. From ordinary cities to secret fleets hidden in orbit, humans had rewritten the rules of war and survival. No one could underestimate them again. The species they laughed at had become a force the stars could not ignore. Subscribe now to witness the full story of humanity's rise and revenge among the stars. The Galactic Council gathered in a vast, shimmering chamber that floated among the stars, the walls alive with the light of countless distant galaxies. Council leader Zorath stood at the center, his tall frame exuding authority and menace, his eyes scanning the assembly of alien representatives from dozens of advanced civilizations, each species unique, some with translucent skin that revealed glowing veins, others with multiple limbs moving in perfect harmony. Yet all were here to witness Zorath's proclamation. His voice resonated through the chamber, deep and commanding. Humanity has grown too fast, too unpredictable, and left unchecked. They will challenge the order we have maintained for millennia. Murmurs of agreement and doubt rippled through the council. But Zorath silenced them with a single piercing glare. He continued, "They are a primitive species, yes, but their unpredictability makes them dangerous. They must either be controlled or eliminated before they threaten the balance of our galaxy." He paused, letting the weight of his words settle. Some council members shifted uneasily, sensing the audacity of the decree. Zorath's plan was not just about containment, it was about proving his supremacy, demonstrating that he alone could protect the galaxy from any perceived threat. A holographic map of human-inhabited worlds appeared before the council, pinpointing Earth and its neighboring colonies, showing their growing technological networks and communication hubs. The map glowed ominously, highlighting the rapid expansion that Zorath claimed could not be ignored. "We cannot afford hesitation," Zorath declared. "If we act now, we prevent disaster. If we delay, humanity may become unstoppable." Some council members exchanged worried glances, the tension in the chamber growing. Zorath knew fear was a powerful tool, and he wielded it with precision. He outlined the steps he intended to take. Fleets would patrol human space, surveillance probes would monitor their technological development, and, if necessary, preemptive strikes would remind them of their place in the galaxy. The assembly listened, some nodding in agreement, others frowning at the aggressive approach. Whispers spread about the morality of targeting a still-developing species, but Zorath dismissed these concerns. Believing that any hesitation could allow humanity to rise unchecked outside the council chamber, humans went about their daily lives, unaware of the decree that had just been passed among the stars. Scientists worked in laboratories, engineers designed new machines, children played in fields, entirely ignorant that their species had been labeled a threat to galactic order. Zorath's arrogance blinded him to the fact that humans had been observing the cosmos in their own way, preparing quietly for challenges far beyond what the council imagined. "We must act decisively," he said, his voice echoing like thunder. "We will show them that defiance has consequences. We will demonstrate the strength of the council and the futility of human ambition." The council chamber seemed to pulse with his intensity, the holographic maps now filled with projected battle scenarios, each simulation showing human colonies subdued, leaders removed, and systems brought under control. Yet unknown to Zorath, each strategy had a flaw. Each assumption underestimated the resilience, creativity, and cunning of humanity. The council members who questioned him were too intimidated to speak, leaving Zorath's vision unchallenged. The chamber fell into a tense silence as he concluded, his eyes glowing with determination. "Humanity will learn its place, one way or another." With that final declaration, the council session adjourned, but the seeds of rebellion, preparation, and unforeseen consequences had already been sown across the galaxy. And though Zorath believed he had secured the future, the humans, unaware and underestimated, were quietly shaping a destiny that would soon challenge his very authority. The fate of Earth hung in the balance. A fragile moment before the storm that would change the course of galactic history forever. Far from the eyes of the Galactic Council, humanity worked quietly, their progress hidden among the stars. Massive shipyards rose like metal forests along Earth's orbit, each vessel designed with precision and intelligence far beyond what anyone imagined. Scientists and engineers collaborated in secrecy, developing artificial intelligence capable of predicting outcomes and planning strategies no alien could foresee. Every weapon, every starship, every communication network was built with a single goal in mind: survival and eventual dominance, if necessary. Humans had learned from the history of their own conflicts on Earth, understanding that unity, innovation, and adaptability were key to survival. Deep underground, research facilities hummed with activity. Engineers tested new propulsion systems, energy shields, and cloaking technology that allowed entire fleets to vanish from sensors. In laboratories, chemists and physicists refined energy weapons capable of disabling enemy ships without destroying entire planets. The humans were meticulous, careful to hide all signs of their preparation from satellites and probes. Even as Zoroth plotted his strike, humanity was already preparing for it. Young cadets trained in virtual reality simulations, mastering the art of maneuvering spacecraft in ways no alien had ever predicted. Officers studied the Council's known tactics, devising countermeasures for every possible scenario. The planet's greatest minds worked day and night, driven by an instinctive understanding that the future of their species depended on their secrecy and speed. Governments and corporations collaborated in a way never seen before, old rivalries set aside to focus on a common cause. Every citizen unknowingly contributed to the effort. From coding new software to manufacturing components, even artists and educators played a part, inspiring the next generation to think creatively and independently. Humanity's preparation was not born out of fear alone, but a quiet determination, a sense that even a small, underestimated species could rise to meet the galaxy, deep in orbit. The first Dreadnoughts were constructed, colossal ships bristling with weapons, yet designed to move with agility unexpected for their size. Their hulls shimmered with adaptive camouflage, allowing them to blend with the stars. AI systems integrated into these ships could coordinate entire fleets, making humans capable of outmaneuvering even the most experienced alien commanders. Below the surface, communication networks encrypted messages in ways that no alien codebreaker could penetrate. Humanity practiced patience, knowing that revealing their power too early could provoke premature retaliation. Their strategy was long-term, built on foresight, intelligence, and a willingness to wait for the perfect moment. Even children in schools contributed indirectly, learning mathematics, physics, and logic that would one day feed into the designs of spacecraft and weaponry. The humans had studied the Council's species, understanding their psychology, their weaknesses, and the arrogance that often blinded them to danger. They used this knowledge to craft tactics that would exploit every mistake. Scouts in the outer solar system monitored for any sign of alien fleets, sending back encrypted data so humans could prepare contingency plans. Every simulation was tested repeatedly, failures analyzed meticulously, success celebrated quietly. The humans were preparing not for conquest, but for survival and respect. And while Zoroth and his council assumed humanity to be simple and backward, the truth was far different. A silent storm gathered in the hidden corridors of human technology, ready to rise when the moment was right. Years passed, but humans remained patient, hiding their power behind ordinary appearances. Cities bustled, people lived normal lives. And yet beneath the surface, a civilization was awakening, ready to claim its place among the stars. Every innovation, every strategy, every quiet achievement added to a foundation that could withstand any challenge. When the Council finally acted, they would find humanity not only prepared, but unstoppable. And the species they had mocked for centuries would shock the galaxy with ingenuity, courage, and precision, unseen and underestimated. Humans had quietly forged a destiny that even Zoroth could not predict. Their preparation was complete, the stage set for a confrontation that would change the fate of their world and the entire galaxy. The first alien scouts arrived at the edge of the solar system, sleek ships gliding silently through the void, their sensors scanning for any sign of human activity. They expected to find a primitive civilization, scattered colonies, and outdated technology. But instead, they detected structures, fleets, and signals far more advanced than anticipated. The humans had prepared for this moment, knowing that contact with the Galactic Council was inevitable. On Earth, the scientists monitored the alien approach, their screens alive with streams of data. Engineers adjusted defense grids and recalibrated communication arrays. Every movement calculated to reveal just enough to warn but not provoke the aliens as the scouts drew closer. Humans launched decoy satellites and stealth probes, masking the true scale of their capabilities. The Council ships assumed the usual signals of backward civilizations, their scanners picking up ordinary cities, standard orbital stations, and routine communications. Yet, hidden beneath the surface, fleets lay ready, cloaked, and poised for action. When the scouts finally transmitted a message, it was met with calm, measured responses from humans, diplomats and scientists using the Council's own language protocols. The conversation seemed ordinary at first. Questions about resources, technology, and exploration, but hidden within every sentence were subtle warnings, a demonstration of human knowledge, strategy, and intelligence. Zorath, watching from his command ship, grew impatient, believing that a simple show of force would suffice. He underestimated the humans' cunning, dismissing their polite yet firm words as nothing more than primitive bluffing. The scouts, following his orders, decided to push further, moving into orbit around Earth, expecting compliance. But humans had prepared a demonstration, not of aggression, but of capability. Stealth fleets maneuvered through asteroid belts and behind planetary shadows, their energy signatures minimal, sensors locked on alien positions. For the first time, the Council realized that they had misjudged humanity. A single strike of electromagnetic pulses disabled the scouts' communications temporarily, sending a shock through Zorath's command network. Alarms blared on his bridge. The arrogance he carried into the Council had blinded him. His fleet was suddenly vulnerable. The humans did not attack with full force. Instead, they demonstrated precision, intelligence, and strategy that the aliens had never encountered. Simulations and predictions they had relied on for centuries failed. The scouts, now wary and confused, reported back that humans were capable of coordinated defense and offensive action far beyond any known species. On Earth, the leaders of humanity remained calm, knowing that the true test was not confrontation, but control. They allowed the scouts to retreat partially, sending encrypted messages that hinted at greater power hidden nearby. Zorath's confidence wavered, yet he still demanded escalation, ordering fleets to prepare for a direct strike, unaware that humanity had anticipated this response. Humans had studied the Council's tactics meticulously, predicting their arrogance and impatience. Every possible attack was countered with hidden fleets, cloaked stations, and traps laid across the outer solar system. As the Council prepared for what they thought would be a simple show of dominance, humans watched and waited, ready to reveal their capabilities at the precise moment. The scouts returned with warnings, reporting unexpected strength and coordination. But Zorath refused to believe them. Convinced that human resistance was limited and unsustainable, the Council underestimated human adaptability, creativity, and intelligence, qualities that had allowed them to survive countless conflicts on Earth and now in space. The scouts' experience forced them to reconsider their assumptions. The humans' calm, strategic responses hinted at centuries of preparation, patience, and understanding of both technology and psychology. Zorath, blinded by pride, ignored these signs, believing that overwhelming force would still achieve victory. Yet each warning, each failed attempt, planted seeds of doubt among his allies. Humanity had shown that they were no longer primitive, no longer an insignificant species to be dismissed. Instead, they were calculating, prepared, and ready. And the first contact had already shifted the balance, setting the stage for a confrontation that would challenge the Council's authority, test their strategies, and ultimately reveal the underestimated power of humanity. The galaxy's perception of Earth was about to change forever, as humans quietly continued to prepare, their fleets hidden but ready, their minds sharp, and their determination unyielding. the Council's arrogance would soon meet the resilience and intelligence of a species that refused to be controlled. The first real battle began far beyond Earth. In the dark expanse of deep space, human fleets emerged from hiding, their ships moving with silent precision, formations so exact they seemed almost alive. Alien commanders initially thought they were facing small skirmishes, but every human ship maneuvered with purpose, anticipating moves before they happened. Energy shields shimmered as alien blasts struck. Yet human vessels absorbed the impact and countered immediately. Humans had studied the Council's tactics for decades, predicting strategies, understanding their tendencies, and exploiting weaknesses. Every engagement felt like a chess game played at impossible speed. Zoroth's fleets, confident in superior technology and numbers, found themselves outmatched in ways they could not comprehend. Humans used adaptive strategies, changing formation mid-battle, feinting retreats, and drawing enemies into traps that immobilized entire squadrons. Even the Council's most advanced ships, with their superior firepower, struggled to keep up. Humans had anticipated sensor scans and communication interception, deploying decoys that confused the enemy. False signals led the Council to attack empty space, while the real fleets struck from unexpected angles. Cloaking technology allowed humans to vanish and reappear, creating chaos in the Council's ranks. Each maneuver was calculated to minimize human casualties while maximizing the psychological impact on the enemy. Zorath, observing from his command ship, grew frustrated, his arrogance giving way to panic. The simulations he had relied on for decades had failed. Nothing prepared him for an enemy that seemed always one step ahead. In response, he ordered a concentrated strike on a human colony, believing a decisive blow would break morale. But humans had anticipated such an attack. Defensive grids activated automatically, redirecting energy and neutralizing incoming strikes. Repair drones swarmed across hulls, restoring damage almost instantly. The Council's forces realized for the first time that humans were not just reactive, they were proactive, calculating, and intelligent. Entire fleets coordinated as if under a single mind, yet powered by the ingenuity of countless human officers and AI systems. Small human ships, seemingly insignificant, targeted vital systems of larger Council vessels, disabling propulsion, communications, and weaponry with surgical precision. Alien crews could barely comprehend what was happening. Panic spread among ranks, orders were delayed, and confusion reigned as humans exploited every moment of hesitation. The battle raged for hours, but humans maintained calm, every move intentional, every strike meaningful. They had trained for this moment. Every simulation and strategy perfected over decades coming to life. Zoroth's frustration turned into desperation. He ordered reinforcements, expecting to overwhelm humanity. But human fleets had already anticipated these movements, intercepting reinforcements before they reached the main battle, turning numbers against themselves. Alien morale began to crumble. The idea that humans were primitive vanished as ships fell. Yet humans remained disciplined, organized, and unyielding. Council commanders who had mocked Earth now faced a species capable of commanding space with intelligence, patience, and creativity. Every failed attempt by the Council was met with countermeasures, counterattacks, and psychological precision, showing that humans not only fought with weapons, but with minds. The battlefield became a maze of deception, strategy, and superior coordination, each engagement leaving the Council further off balance. Zoroth's fury grew, but it could not overcome the skill and preparation of humans. At the edge of the battle, small teams of human pilots executed daring maneuvers, disabling entire squadrons, their courage and skill inspiring allies and demoralizing enemies. The battle was more than just a fight. It was a demonstration that humans could outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast even the most advanced alien forces. As the dust of war settled, Council forces retreated in disarray, suffering losses they could not replace quickly. Humanity had proven that they were a force to be reckoned with. Not primitive, not insignificant, but clever, precise, and unstoppable when threatened. The first engagement of war had ended, but it sent a clear message across the galaxy. Humans were no longer to be underestimated. They had arrived, and the Council's authority was no longer absolute. Zoroth's anger boiled as he watched his fleets retreat, their formations broken and their morale shattered. He could not believe that a species he had dismissed as primitive had outmaneuvered and outsmarted his forces. Determined to regain control, he demanded reinforcements from his homeworld, confident that superior numbers would crush humanity. Massive warships began mobilizing from the heart of his planet, engines flaring as they prepared to dominate the solar system. But humans had already predicted this move, long before Zorath could act. Scouts and intelligence networks had mapped every route the reinforcements could take. Human fleets lay in wait along these paths, cloaked among asteroid fields, hidden behind gas giants, and shadowing comets. When Zorath's reinforcements moved, humans executed precise ambushes, striking key vessels with calculated efficiency, disabling engines and weapon systems before the aliens could even realize they were under attack. Human AI coordinated each strike with flawless timing, ensuring that every ship's movement complemented the others. Even the most powerful warships of Zorath's fleet were trapped in zones where escape was impossible. The Council had assumed that overwhelming numbers guaranteed victory. But humans had turned that assumption into a weakness. As the reinforcements faltered, chaos spread across the alien command networks. Zorath shouted orders, but messages were delayed, corrupted by human countermeasures. His fleet became a disorganized mass, unable to regroup effectively. Each failed maneuver strengthened human confidence. Earth's leaders observed calmly, analyzing every move, ready to exploit even the smallest mistake. Human ships executed feints, drawing parts of the alien fleet into traps while leaving other sections exposed. The Council's advanced sensors failed to detect hidden threats, illusions created by holographic decoys and adaptive stealth technology. In the heart of the conflict, Zorath realized that brute force alone would no longer work. Every strategy he had relied on for decades had failed against an enemy that anticipated, adapted, and countered with intelligence. Humans did not merely react. They planned, predicted, and controlled the flow of battle. The tide of war had shifted completely. Small human strike teams disabled command ships, severing communication links across the alien forces. Officers on Zorath's flagships struggled to maintain order as their subordinates faced sudden attacks from directions they did not expect. Panic rippled through the alien fleets, morale crumbling under pressure. Zorath himself became increasingly desperate, issuing reckless commands in an attempt to regain the upper hand. But humans had accounted for such erratic behavior. Their fleets adjusted in real time, responding to every new threat and turning Zorath's desperation into opportunity. Hidden human dreadnoughts now moved into position, their massive weapons ready to target the alien supply lines and support vessels, striking with precision that caused minimal collateral damage to planets, but maximal disruption to Zorath's war effort. Entire squadrons were neutralized before they could engage, forcing the reinforcements into retreat. The first signs of panic reached Zorath's homeworld, where leaders had trusted their council members' judgment implicitly. Now they witnessed their forces failing in ways they had never imagined. Earth's humans, ever cautious, chose not to pursue annihilation of the fleeing reinforcements immediately. Instead, they demonstrated dominance through control, showing that resistance was futile without revealing the full extent of their power. As the alien fleets staggered, Zorath realized his arrogance had been his undoing. His belief that humans were a primitive species had blinded him to their ingenuity, coordination, and resilience. The council member who had threatened humanity was now isolated, his plans unraveling with each passing hour. On Earth, citizens continued their work in laboratories, shipyards, and command centers, unaware of the growing legend of their species' tactical brilliance. Yet each calculation, each adjustment, and each maneuver contributed to the turning of the tide. Humanity had proven not only that it could defend itself, but that it could dominate. And Zorath's insistence on reinforcements had only accelerated his downfall. By the end of this engagement, the alien commander's confidence had been shattered. The once proud fleets now in disarray, and the stage was set for humanity to demonstrate its ultimate strategic power. Zorath's desperation became obvious to all, and the galaxy began to see that the humans they had underestimated were not only capable, but unstoppable. The era of arrogance and blind superiority was over, and the first true victory against the Council's might had set humanity firmly on the path to reshape the stars. Humanity had gained the upper hand in the conflict, but they knew that leaving Zorath in power could bring future threats. Careful not to destroy lives unnecessarily, they decided to strike at the heart of his power, his homeworld. Massive fleets moved silently through the void, cloaked and almost invisible, ready to demonstrate precision and strength without provoking panic among civilians. On the homeworld, cities gleamed with technological marvels, towers stretching into the sky, streets alive with activity, unaware that their leaders' arrogance had placed them in danger. Humanity's first actions were targeted and surgical. Drones disabled military satellites, communication arrays, and planetary defense systems, ensuring that no immediate retaliation could threaten civilians. Hidden strike teams infiltrated orbital stations, taking control of key command hubs. Human AI systems coordinated every move with flawless timing, monitoring Zorath's forces while avoiding unnecessary destruction. Civilians noticed disruptions, but had no idea of the scale or purpose behind them. Chaos among Zorath's military ranks spread quickly. Commanders struggled to regain control, their most advanced weapons neutralized before they could be used. The humans demonstrated their power through efficiency and intelligence, not sheer violence. Zorath, watching from his flagship in orbit, realized too late that he had underestimated human strategy once again. His own homeworld, which he believed would supply him with absolute dominance, now teetered on the brink of submission. Human diplomats then contacted planetary leaders, offering terms of surrender and assistance in restoring stability. The humans made it clear that resistance would be pointless, yet cooperation could ensure safety and reconstruction. It was a demonstration not only of power, but of humanity's ability to act with restraint and morality. Military installations were deactivated systematically, weapons systems rendered inert, and any attempt to counterattack was immediately neutralized. Zorath's loyal officers were forced to witness their control vanish without being able to retaliate. The humans allowed no destruction of cities, choosing instead to disable threats while protecting innocent lives. Civilians began to grasp the reality. Their council leader had failed, and their homeworld was no longer safe under his command. Zorath's arrogance had created a situation where his entire society now depended on the mercy and intelligence of humans. In orbit, human dreadnoughts maintained positions around strategic points, ensuring that Zorath could not escape or regroup. The planet's leaders had no choice but to negotiate. Treaties were drafted under human guidance, military power transferred, and a new system of oversight established to prevent future aggression. Humanity had not only neutralized a threat, but had reshaped the power structure of the homeworld. Zorath's influence diminished instantly. He became a figure of ridicule and caution rather than authority. Throughout the planet, citizens slowly realized that their former leader had brought them to the brink, and the humans, though once considered insignificant, had acted decisively to prevent further catastrophe. Intelligence operatives monitored every movement, ensuring that no hidden forces could rise, and humans took care to leave the planet's infrastructure intact, demonstrating that their aim was not conquest, but justice and balance. Zorath himself was exiled, stripped of command, and forced to witness the consequences of his reckless threats firsthand. Across the galaxy, news of the homeworld's submission spread, sending a powerful message to other council members and species. Humanity did not act recklessly, but anyone who threatened them would face consequences. Earth's fleets returned to defensive positions, still prepared for any unexpected retaliation. Humans had proven that they could strike precisely, efficiently, and intelligently. Their reputation as a force to be reckoned with solidified. The homeworld, once ruled by arrogance and pride, had learned humility, and humanity had established itself as a species capable not only of defense, but of strategic dominance. The lesson was clear. No threat would go unanswered. No arrogance would go unchecked. And the galaxy would remember that when humans acted, they acted with intelligence, precision, and purpose. The stage was now set for humanity to continue rising, their power respected and feared, yet tempered by the wisdom of restraint. Zorath's fall marked the beginning of a new era where humans would be seen not as primitives, but as strategists, leaders, and a species the galaxy could no longer ignore. With Zorath's power broken and his homeworld subdued, humanity's position in the galaxy changed forever. Earth no longer seemed like a small, backward planet. It had proven itself capable of outsmarting, outmaneuvering, and defeating one of the most influential leaders in the Galactic Council. Humans now began to assert themselves, not through aggression, but through intelligence, strategy, and diplomacy. Fleets that had once hidden in shadows now patrolled space openly, signaling to the galaxy that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. Other council members, who had watched Zorath's downfall with a mixture of fear and disbelief, began reassessing their assumptions about humans. For centuries, they had dismissed humanity as primitive, predictable, and weak. But now, reports of humans' ingenuity, resilience, and tactical brilliance spread rapidly through alien networks. Humans began establishing formal communications with other civilizations, offering trade, collaboration, and knowledge exchange, yet always maintaining a strong defensive posture. They made it clear that any attempt at interference would be met with precise and overwhelming response. Earth's leaders encouraged exploration and development, investing in new colonies, research stations, and interstellar travel. Every action was calculated to expand humanity's influence while demonstrating caution, intelligence, and responsibility. Human scientists developed faster-than-light communication networks, advanced propulsion systems, and energy technologies, each breakthrough ensuring that humanity could compete with and even surpass established civilizations. Civilians on Earth took pride in their species' achievements, unaware of the full scope of the planning, training, and sacrifice that had brought them to this point. Humans had not only defended themselves, but had rewritten the rules of engagement in the galaxy. Zorath's homeworld, once proud and arrogant, now operated under new governance, with humans overseeing security and strategic balance. The Council had no choice but to respect these changes, seeing that the days of dismissing Earth as insignificant were over. Young human pilots and officers trained in new fleets, inspired by the victories and strategies that had defeated Zorath, their confidence growing alongside technological advances, the human approach was always careful yet assertive, showing that power could be balanced with intelligence and ethics. Trade agreements and treaties were signed with species previously skeptical of humanity, each interaction demonstrating diplomacy backed by undeniable capability. Humans expanded their reach into nearby star systems, establishing research outposts, colonies, and observation stations, all while maintaining vigilance against possible threats. The message to the galaxy was clear: humanity had arrived, and it would no longer be ignored. Council members who had once plotted to control Earth now sought alliances, hoping to benefit from humans' ingenuity rather than suffer from their wrath. The story of the confrontation with Zorath became legendary. Studied by military academies and diplomatic schools across civilizations, it was proof that courage, intelligence, and preparation could overcome arrogance and brute power. Earth's citizens, scientists, engineers, and strategists became respected voices in interstellar affairs, a symbol of what a united species could achieve. Humans continued to refine their technology and strategies, always anticipating future challenges, their experience with Zorath serving as a guide for maintaining balance and strength. The galaxy began to view humanity with a mix of awe, caution, and respect, recognizing that the species was unpredictable, capable, and unyielding. Every encounter with other civilizations reinforced the lesson. Humans were not merely survivors, they were innovators, strategists, and potential leaders. As humanity's influence grew, the principles of intelligence, restraint, and preparation guided every decision. They had proven that victory did not require recklessness, but could be achieved through skill, foresight, and precision. Zorath's defeat remained a reminder of the cost of underestimating humanity. The lesson echoing across star systems. Any species that assumed humans could be controlled would face consequences. And through every challenge and encounter, humanity solidified its place among the stars, respected and feared, a rising power capable of shaping the future of the galaxy. Their story was no longer about survival, but about leadership, influence, and the undeniable proof that humans, once underestimated, had become a force that could not be ignored. Zorath had been exiled, his influence stripped away, and his homeworld reshaped under the guidance and oversight of humans. The once proud leader now existed only as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of arrogance and underestimating others. Humanity had not only defended itself, but had permanently altered the balance of power in the galaxy. With fleets positioned strategically throughout nearby systems, humans ensured that any potential threat could be met decisively. Councils of alien civilizations that had once dismissed Earth as primitive now approached with caution, respect, and sometimes even fear. Humans demonstrated that their rise was not built on blind aggression, but on intelligence, foresight, and moral calculation. Earth became a hub of innovation, diplomacy, and strategy. Its scientists and engineers continuing to expand the limits of technology. Faster than light travel became more refined, energy systems more efficient, and communications more secure. Yet all of this was paired with careful planning and strategic thinking. Every move in the galaxy measured for both opportunity and risk. Humans also fostered alliances with other species, carefully choosing partners who valued intelligence, ethics, and collaboration. These relationships allowed for knowledge exchange, resource sharing, and mutual protection, demonstrating that humans were capable of leadership and cooperation on an interstellar scale. The story of the war with Zorath and the neutralization of his homeworld became legendary, studied by military academies across civilizations. The tactics, strategies, and decisions of humans were analyzed for their brilliance and effectiveness. Young human officers trained with simulations replicating every encounter, ensuring that lessons were learned and applied to future challenges across the galaxy. Humans' reputation grew. They were seen as clever, disciplined, and unyielding, a species that combined intellect with courage. The moral integrity of their approach won allies, while their demonstrated power earned respect and fear. Humans did not stop at defense. They explored new star systems, established colonies, and observed other civilizations, learning from them while ensuring they were prepared for any eventuality. Their expansion was measured, deliberate, and guided by principles of intelligence and responsibility. Zorath's former allies, once confident in their superiority, now approached humans seeking guidance, trade, and collaboration. Understanding that Earth was no longer a planet to dominate, but a power to be acknowledged. Humans continued to refine their fleets, integrating new technologies, testing advanced AI, and developing strategies that ensured they could respond to threats quickly and efficiently. Every advancement was paired with careful ethical consideration, demonstrating that humanity's power was matched by wisdom. On Earth, citizens celebrated their species' achievements quietly, knowing that their survival, intelligence, and foresight had allowed them to rise above extinction and intimidation. The humans had become a species capable of shaping the destiny of the galaxy, not through oppression, but through strategy, intelligence, and moral clarity. Alien civilizations adjusted their expectations, realizing that the days of dismissing humans as insignificant were gone forever. Humanity had not only survived the threat of the Council and Zorath, but had emerged as a dominant, respected, and feared presence in interstellar affairs. As time passed, humans continued to push boundaries, exploring the stars, forging alliances, and preparing for the unknown challenges that lay ahead. Zorath's story served as a constant reminder. Arrogance and underestimation of humans carried consequences, and the galaxy would never again see Earth as a simple, backward planet. The humans' legacy of intelligence, courage, and strategic brilliance had been established, their influence spreading across star systems, teaching other civilizations that resilience, preparation, and intellect were forces to be reckoned with. The species once underestimated had risen to command attention, respect, and caution across the galaxy, and their story would continue to inspire, warn, and shape the future of interstellar history. Humanity had proven that the underestimated could become unstoppable, that intelligence paired with strategy could overcome arrogance, and that even the smallest planet could produce a force capable of altering the course of the stars.